kryptonite closer. I'm Superman, but I'm marvelous grand bliss. Dumb it down so they can understand this. To make it plain, I'm taking plain citation. I'm slipping, you make it rain and my heart's racing. Traction for this action, I'm like a fiend. You came through, wheels took off and grew wings.
Told me this might be getting lonely, so I gotta look to you, 'cause you my one and only. Others they be phony, they judge me and they stone me, so I gotta look to you, 'cause you my one and only. 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 It's a serious possibility that they don't even know but be screaming they feeling me. I could care less about what they think they say, 'cause if they ain't seeing you, definitely ain't seeing me. I do this music 'cause you love it, oh yeah, and I swear that I ain't going nowhere. I know, you know, I know people making incredible things. Yeah, all I need is one, 'cause too many is too many overdue.
You get
Done. I got siblings, I got cousins and friends, come dime a dozen, but can't none of them do me like you. I'm so deaf to the clamor. I'm a nail, you the hammer, tucked in pajamas, freeze frame like a camera, and I ain't going nowhere. The only way I'ma go there is if I'm riding shotgun with you, yo. 'Cause ain't nobody told me this might be getting lonely, so I gotta look to you, 'cause you my one and only. Others they be phony, they judge me and they stone me, so I gotta look to you, 'cause you my one and only. You my one and only.
What's up, guys? Hold on. I'm getting a FaceTime call right in the middle of the beginning of the show. You're FaceTiming me in the middle of the live show. What, in the beginning? All right, bye. All right, guys, that was Daniel. So that will give you some indication that it's just me here tonight, but I do feel like the camera's kind of crooked. Can we just ignore that, or should I fix it? Tell me if y'all are bothered by that, because this is a one-woman show tonight. I don't have my camera guy to make sure that like it looks right, but the camera clearly looks crooked from my perspective. But if y'all are good, I'm good. But what's up, everybody? Welcome to week 7 of Extra Credit Live. Let me show. It's not crooked. My head is crooked. Daniel. I am DR92. It's Daniel, y'all. He's in the chat trolling me. Okay, it looks fine to y'all. Thank you very much. That's all I need to hear. Period. All right, so let me figure out how to turn the music down all the way, because Okay, there we go. Okay, guys. We are back for another week. Daniel is on his way back from the Wizards game tonight. So it's just me tonight, but it'll be a treat. I actually have a plan to hopefully bring Daniel up, but hopefully bring a couple of y'all up to the front of the class to present. Okay, it's giving class, it's giving project, it's giving I don't know what it's called when you have to get in front of the class, but it's giving that. So hopefully we can get into some of that tonight. And I don't have a flashback of last week, but I honestly don't think we need to flashback. Like, we can just leave it where it was. I started on one, then my computer died, couldn't find a charger. My groceries got delivered. I just had to move on with life. So here we are, but I'm just giving y'all a little bit of time to get on in here. I realized that some of y'all might be multitasking tonight, doing some last minute Christmas shopping, Amazon. Like, I feel like today is like the last day you could possibly order on Amazon to get it by Christmas. Tomorrow, maybe, but like there's already a bunch of stuff that will not arrive in time. So if you need last minute stuff, child, you finna be in the stores. You finna be in the stores. Or y'all let me know in the chat? Have y'all finished Christmas shopping? Y'all still have shopping to do? Did y'all just say forget it? No one's getting gifts this year. What's up? What are y'all up to? Just while we wait a little bit for a few more people to hop in here, and then we'll get started for tonight. I know for me, I think I mostly finished like the bulk of the Christmas shopping. If there's anything like small I need to get, maybe some stocking stuffers I can get in person. I feel like I need to do like some New Year's gifts that are like the extended radius, like not immediate family. No, almost there. Yeah. I don't know what it is about this year, but you finished. More power to you, girl. For those of y'all who finished, bless you. I'm almost done. My wrapping paper doesn't arrive till Tuesday though. So under the tree is like completely bare. I put out a memo that I'll grab gifts after Christmas. Okay, same gift but with the sales price. Okay, period. Still working on it. Yeah, not finished at all. I get it. I get it. Listen, the retailers know. They're trying to make it as easy as possible for everyone to get their last minute gifts. It's a lot. It's a lot, but I love Christmas. I love gift giving. Like, I like to give thoughtful gifts. Sometimes I feel like I don't have time to like think of the most thoughtful thing, but like I really enjoy giving like really thoughtful gifts that the person's like, "Oh." So, yeah. You're not that late. We just got started. We're getting ready to do roll call. You guys should already know the drill by now. I need, because it's the week of Christmas, I'm going to give you two options. Okay. You could put a baby boy in the chat for baby Jesus, or you can put a Christmas tree in the chat. But first, what I need you to do is like this video so we can push it out there to more people, share it with somebody that you know, and then get those emojis going in the chat. And we will begin roll call in just a minute. Joy said, not wrapping everything. Yo, guys, my parents did not used to wrap everything. It used to be like pretty bare under the tree for like ever. And then on Christmas Eve, we were like banned from coming downstairs. And they would put everything together and pull everything out. And so much stuff would just be like sitting out, you know? All right, I'm seeing some Christmas. Oh, I see Christmas trees and baby Jesus. Period. I love all the. Hey, Black baby Jesus. Okay, I see you, Monet, Joy, Daniel's in the chat. What's up, babe? Chelsea, Tia, Jeremiah. A palm tree. A palm tree. That's what we need to do. Okay, only you. You got to be different every time. Trinity, Keela, Cam. What's up? Y'all are rolling in. Hey, Angela, Leah, more Black baby Jesuses. Thank you, Daniel, for that. Kingdom Style Corner, Nick. What's up? Monet. Y'all are rolling in here. Hey, Ebbs. Ebbs had on a fire outfit at church today. Like, I'm still thinking about that. Crazy. Keisha. What's up, Danny? What's up, Samai? Lene. What's up, guys? Listen, I am excited for this episode. And before we get like too far into, the topic for the night, I have some funny stuff. What's up, Layla, Jaquista, Sydney? Hey, everybody. Thank y'all for still coming on here without Daniel. I feel like our dynamic, like the fact that like I'm just looking at a plant over here is like so sad. Like, where is my man? But we're gonna make it shake. He's hopefully gonna be able to hop on here after a while. So what's up, Lauren? Okay. So listen, guys, I want to get started with some videos that I think are funny, but that are like related to Christmas. I didn't have that many things, but then my sister Charity sent me some videos, and honestly, it sparked a thought in my mind of conversation that we have. I want to play the first one that I found first because I think that it's so funny, and then we could talk about it. I don't know why, y'all. I was literally busting out laughing at this. Okay, here we go. Wait, do I need to start it over? Hold on.
No!
Y'all, this is so funny to me. Y'all, okay, first of all, it's the way that it was like the starting scene of him looking out the window and the Grinch is walking through the streets with the trash bag. Child, please. And then the way that this child's like, not on my watch. You are not stealing my presents, and literally attacked. I ended up reading the comments to find out that it was his aunt dressed up, and they said they could not get her to ever do this again because she literally got attacked by the child. But listen, somebody in the comments said he's going to go back to school and say that he fought off the Grinch and saved Christmas, and his friends will be like, you lying. He's like, no, but I did. He said, you are not getting my presents. Exactly. I watched it like 10 times. I thought that was so funny. But also, we were recently watching, I don't know if you guys have seen like the Universal Studios Grinch that like is so funny, like a real Grinch, but like, and he acts like the Grinch, but he interacts with people. Y'all have to look that up on TikTok. We've been and done it in person with the Grinch, and like, it's literally the most funny experience ever. So anyways, next, this is a little spiel into like gift giving and gift giving etiquette, but this guy just made it sound so funny. Shout out to Charity for sending me these videos. If y'all ever see funny stuff y'all want us to react to, y'all can literally DM us, send it to us, and we might play it on the show. So I don't know which one is supposed to go first. I think it's this one. So let's just see what this guy has to say.
Marched down there to the store, stood in line with a Christmas gift card to load $10 up there and had to pay $2.95 to load it up there. Burn up your gas to go way down there to do that? Just to piss me off? Come on now. Now throw your hands up.
Y'all, how do we feel about this? Like, how do we feel? Because I kind of agree with him just a little bit, but not all the way. Okay. I feel like a $10 gift card can be super thoughtful depending on like where the gift card is to. You know what I'm saying? But somebody said I really love his content. I've never seen him before today. Like Charity sent him to me. This is my first time seeing him. But like he's kind of saying what everyone else is thinking low key. You know what I'm saying? And he made a point. He's like, you had to drive in your car all the way to the store and you had to pay the fee, right? And you had to pay for the card. Like, I don't know. How do we feel about it's giving Dollar Tree? I mean, listen, I've always been the type of person that's like, I feel like a $10 gift card is fine. But if you give me an empty card, if it's just like a sentiment card, it's fine to be empty. But if it's like for an occasion, that card costs at least $5. Just give me the $5. That sounds so bad. Just give me the $10 cash. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. It's kind of tough because maybe that's all that somebody has and it's totally fine. But I feel like if it's $10, it should just be not to a specific place. You know? I don't know. The fee in the card is none of your business. Just take the gift and be happy. I mean, that's fair too. That's fair too. But give me the money for the card and the gift card. That's the stuff that I used to be thinking as a kid. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I'd be like, just give me the money and whatever you was gonna spend on that card, out the card. Like leave the card out. It's okay. I'm gonna throw it in the trash anyways. You know what I'm saying? But anyways, okay. Then he had a follow-up video. Here's the follow-up video.
Gift card, either write the amount that's the value on the back of it, or put it in an envelope with the number on there, so I ain't got to be calling to be disappointed. To kind of find out ain't but $10 up there. Now I'm more pissed. I'm even the more pissed. Now throw your hands up.
First of all, is this like throw your hands up? Like that's like his thing, I'm guessing. Like, I'm guessing that's just his thing. Yo, he has a point. When they don't tell you how much is on there, it's never like $100. It's always gonna be like $5 because they didn't want to write it on there. There was a reason they did not put that amount on there. There is a reason, okay? Write the amount because now you got to call this 800 number. You got to do little scratch offs on the back. Like it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. And don't get me wrong. We're thankful for the gift. But like, just let us know how much it is. You know, that's all. Throw your hands up is his thing. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Thank you. You got to do, all that. But anyways, I come from a surrounding of people where I receive lots of I get re-gifted gift cards. So I'm going to go light on the gift card. I'm very thankful for every gift card that I've been given or re-given. So yeah, anyways, that's all I have related to Christmas gifts, Christmas whatevers. The only thing that is in my kids' stockings and everyone's stockings right now is Cranberry Fizz Poppy. And I put it in there because it's been so hard to find in Richmond this year. I don't know if y'all have had a hard time finding them, but I have. So when I found them, I just stuck them in all the stockings and I thought that would be cool. And Daniel said that he wants to drink them now. And I have a feeling that before Christmas gets here, he's going to go in there and take every single one out and drink them. But that's what I put. Food be $30, but the gift card is $5. I know. It's like towards your meal. But I mean, it's better than nothing at the end of the day, I guess. But anyways, okay. All right, guys. Well, I do not want to keep y'all too long tonight. It's just me. I don't have, anyone to banter with until I get Daniel up here. But the only problem I have is like, don't give a $5 gift card to Target. I know, right? Because I'm gonna just get a candy bar, I don't know. It is weird. It's like you want to be thankful, but also like, what do you want me to do with this? I know. All right. So moving past the gift cards, the topic for tonight that we're going to get into is the inspiration of this topic came from a conversation that I had this week with someone, and they asked me a question. Now, this conversation, I'm not going to say that it's like a mature conversation, but it's definitely not for kids. So if your kids are running around, maybe like put them in a bed, put your headphones in, whatever. All right. It's not that serious, but like kind of. I wouldn't want my kids running around. All right. So listen, when this person came to me, they were talking to me about a friend of theirs who I believe is saved, a Christian, but not married. And the person was basically explaining how the girl and her boyfriend had been intimate before they were married. And before they were officially boyfriend and girlfriend, but when they became boyfriend and girlfriend, things changed. I don't even need to get into how things change because that's not really the point of what I'm bringing up. But I asked her, I'm like, are your friends saved? Like, are they like, do they say that, call themselves be Christians or whatever? And she said, yeah. And I said, okay, that's interesting. And her response was basically like, well, these days, like, that's kind of just like, it's very normalized these days. And something within me something within me, like I felt like my inner spirit was putting on boxing gloves, getting ready to like, you know what I'm saying? Because I think that like hearing that it's just normalized even amongst like the Christian community is just like very bothersome, because I believe in the word of God. I believe the word of God is a standard for our life. So to hear this was very interesting to me. And of course, I feel like it's something that I kind of knew, but like the circles that I'm used to and that I come from, like people generally know. Does it mean that people are doing it? No. But for it to be normalized and just open conversation and just whatever was just kind of different to me. So I kind of wanted to open up this conversation around this topic, related to like abstinence, the whole like purity movement, related to 2025, today's standards. Like, what are y'all seeing out here in the Christian community specifically to start off? Like, is it normalized to that Christians who are dating just have sex? Like, is that a normalized thing? Y'all got to tell me in the comments, because like I've been married for 11 years. Like, I'm totally not, I don't know, but what are y'all seeing? Let me know, because I really think that those of us who have been taught and that do know, I feel like we do have a duty to stand firm in the standard of the word of God and to continue to like push that forward. I do think that it's very, very, it's hard to watch, but at the same time, like be a part of the solution, not the problem, which is why we're talking about it today. Let's see. It should not be normal, but it seems to be. Yeah, it seems to be normal. And this is not a place to cast any type of judgment on anybody. It's really just open dialogue to see like how have we gotten here? Like what has changed and how have we gotten here? How has this become the new normal, the new like status quo, to where even as a group of Christian friends, we're just casually having this conversation as if it's not something that God asks us not to do. And what can we do because listen, when I was growing up, it was almost like a way of putting fear in people's hearts in order to not do it. Right. And it was obviously there's lots of risks of, becoming pregnant, of getting diseases, and different things like that, but also, spiritually, like fear as well. So, but then I got to a certain point to where things kind of shifted, I want to say, at the time of my upbringing, to where it was like, sex is a good thing. Sex is from God, but it's within these parameters. And then we got that side of it. So I feel like I kind of got both sides of that. And then now it's like, it's all about love and it's all about relationship. But I can kind of put that in air quotes because, if it's truly about relationship, then you will have these convictions through that relationship. So let's see. I don't know if it's normal, but the conversation is important. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, the crickets, exactly. I thought that was the ant at first. It should not be normal, but part of it being that way is ignorance of what you are doing physically and what it opens you up to spiritually. Exactly. Unfortunately, it is normalized. A lot of people at church thought me and my husband were having premarital sex. When I told them we waited, they were shocked. That is so interesting to me. Like, it's more shocking that you're not doing it, but then it's normalized. Like, how did we get here? And I think that one of the things that one of the arguments that I've heard is that, like, how do you know that you want to be with that person if you don't engage in sex with them? How do you know that you want this thing if you haven't like tried it out? How do you know that you want to be with a person forever if you haven't like first lived with them? These are like the kind of conversations that I hear. And I actually found a video that I feel like has a really good kind of take on this. So I'm going to play it now.
I do plan to get married, but there's no way I'm marrying somebody before I have sex with them, because I need to know what I'm dealing with for the rest of my life. Yeah. Talk to this person. This whole idea of I've got to test drive something
before I'm, fully committing to it. Let's just have a conversation about that. So let's use a car. Yeah. I'm not going to buy a car unless I test drive it. Mm-hmm. There's not a car that you've ever kept for 45 years. I test drove the car. I bought the car, and then I traded it in 7 years later for an upgraded model. So even the idea of test driving means that there's no long-term commitment. Because what it means is I'm in until I can find something better that I can afford. Your ability to control yourself prior to saying I do is also your first test of, can I keep my commitment till death do us part?
I felt like he made a really good point, because I've heard people talk about this like concept, this like idea of test driving, of needed to test drive. But I thought he made a good point, because you're test driving, even the test driving the car is not signifying something that's going to last forever, right? It's something that you might be okay with for a certain period of time. Chris Brown's back. Child, please, I know. For maybe for a protracted period of time, but you're always going to look for something new or something better, something shinier, something more upgraded, at another point in time when it comes to a car. So I thought that was like a really good, kind of analogy that he used to talk about it. But I think that going back to something that Caitlin brought up earlier in the chat is that a lot of people don't realize what you're opening up yourself to physically. And I think that it's literally the enemy's plan for this to become so normalized that people open themselves up to so many things spiritually through their sexual partners that they're so bogged down that now, in order for them to be effective later in life and to be free, they have to now deal with all these demons that they've opened themselves up to over the course of time. Somebody said, plus, if you're married, you have plenty of time to learn what y'all like. And that is true. I will speak from my own personal experience. Daniel and I did not have sex before we got married. Now, were we doing other things that we probably shouldn't have been doing? Probably. But we did not have sex with each other before we got married. I was a virgin when I got married. And we figured it out. Trust me, we figured it out. You're going to figure it out. But I think that from my perspective, if you feel like God is telling you that you're supposed to marry this person, but you feel like you need to test drive it, that's a lack of trust in God, because you're telling me that you don't trust God, that he knows you and your partner and what your desires are better than you do. You're saying that I need control. I need to figure this out. I need to know for sure. But do you trust God? Because if you trust God that that's your partner, then you should be able to trust God with all of it. What's up, Jarrell? That's a good analogy. They might be trying to lease their car for 3 years. Exactly. But yeah, I think that, it's a lack of trust in God. Like you have a lack in trust of God if you feel like you need to. But a lot of times, that's just one side of the argument. Like you have the other side where some people just think it's just not as big of a deal. And I think that there's an epidemic of so many things are sexualized in pop culture. Whether it's music videos, whether it's TV shows, whether it's social media, this like sex is kind of everywhere, which is what makes it feel normal. It's talked about normally. It's put in podcasts and movies and so casually that now it feels like it's normal. It's natural. It's human. That's why I think that it started to become kind of like just be a normal thing. It was not a normal thing when I was coming up. Most don't wait, and so most don't know or feel good about giving godly advice. Most don't wait, and so most don't know. Yeah, I think that that's a good point too. I think that just because I saw somebody talking about this, they were saying that like so many people will tell you, wait for marriage, wait for marriage, wait for marriage. But a lot of people themselves who are saying it didn't do it themselves. And so it feels like this impossible thing. And I think that that's real. And I think that one of the things, there's a couple, I couldn't save their video because their video wasn't like, I guess I could have screen recorded it. But anyways, they were basically sharing that and I think they were Catholic, but they were basically sharing that they were living together, they were having sex, and they began to become convicted, in their faith as they were growing closer to God. And they actually like stopped after they already had, while they were still living together. They explained that it was really hard, but they explained that they were able to like be restored and to come back from that, which I think are like really important stories to tell, because a lot of people feel like once they've done it, it's, oh well, like I already did it. But there's restoration for that, and you're never too far gone to come back to God and to come back to Christ. Let's see. As someone who wasn't a virgin when they got married, waiting with my husband was the best decision. God knows what you like. 100%. I couldn't agree with that more. Even coming from someone who who did wait, but God knows what you like. Like, do you trust him or not? Like, do you trust him or not? Christianity itself has been watered down to make people feel good. So, and I feel like that is the concept has come about to make people feel more comfortable about them sinning, and that's the issue. I could agree with this more. I do feel like there is like this feeling or this need to make people feel comfortable in their sin, and that is not what God has called us to do. Never, ever, ever in the Word of God has it ever said following Christ is going to be like your comfortable journey, like, making you feel good about yourself, making you feel. And I think that even the argument that it's natural and it just feels good and this and that, when did that ever become what we're supposed to go after? We know that we're born into sin. We know that we have a fleshly nature. We know these things, but what about the spiritual side? Like, what about the spiritual side? And I think that because it feels so good and it's so natural, people want to lean into that side without realizing that what God puts in place for us are boundaries for our protection and our safety. Our protection, our safety, the safety of our purpose and our destiny in Him, and for ourselves and our futures. And I think that it's really, really like, it's, again, I go back to like that lack of trust in God. But do y'all agree with this guy who's saying that you don't need to test drive, or do y'all think that you need a test drive? Like, be honest with me. Do y'all feel? Because I mean, I don't know. I feel like I wish Daniel was here with me, because I know Daniel loves to play devil's advocate with topics like this. Not that he's so far over, but like he kind of like brings another perspective. But yeah, exactly. everybody's everybody's real quiet on this, but I feel like it's interesting. Yes, I think it was a great analogy. Yes, I agree with him. I think that when you hear an analogy like that, it's kind of hard to come back with like the opposite perspective. But I do think, like, I guess for us as believers, how do we continue to move the word of God like back into its rightful place as the standard for living? Like, how do we encourage, like, if you have friends who are living this lifestyle but claim to be believers, how do we bring that conversation around without condemning people, without making people feel judged, but while still like being sound godly counsel? Because to me, like, I'm trying to think if I would feel right just saying nothing to a friend in this particular instance. Daniel said, "What, devil's advocate?" Not too heavy, but a little bit. Like, I know in our conversations, usually 9 times out of 10, the car you're test driving isn't the one you end up buying. That's right. That's right. That's true. That's true. That's true. I think that I think that I mean, it's just deception. At the end of the day, like, it really is deception. And I think that, to me, I was just so taken aback that like this is a common Christian conversation. I think that for when I was growing up, like, if people were having sex, they weren't having open conversations about like their sex life as Christians. Like, it was more hush hush. It was more, but now it's like, not that people should be shameful, but it's like, it's literally just, it's just open. Like, it's just whatever, whatever, whatever. Test driving is overrated. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I agree with that, because if I want a G-Wagon, I want a G-Wagon. What do you mean? Like, when it's on that level, like, you want what you want. And like, if someone says you can have a G-Wagon tomorrow, but do you want to test drive it because you can't test drive it? Give me the keys. I don't need to test drive anything. Like, but it's just, it's yielding to the flesh instead of yielding to the spirit. That's really what it comes down to. And I heard someone say it this way: it's like when you have sex with somebody, like your demons are become their demons and their demons become your demons. Like you're just mixing it all up. You're opening yourself up to so much. When we talk about how even something as simple as yoga and the positions of yoga can like be opening yourself up, like creating portals for different spirits to enter and exit. Like sex is one of the number one ways that spirits are exchanged. And a lot of people don't realize that. You don't need to test drive. You don't need to test drive. It still doesn't mean you're spiritually aligned. Physically compatible doesn't mean mentally and spiritually. Yeah, that's 100% correct. Just because you connect on a physical level doesn't mean that you're going to connect on the other levels properly. And I think that that's one of the things too about sex before marriage is that it completely clouds like your ability to see clearly in that relationship once you start to introduce that, because you're starting to again like attach your spirits to one another in a way to where and your souls, and that's where a soul tie can come in, to where you cannot actually see that person for who they are. The red flags begin to turn pink and they begin to change colors. You don't see everything as clearly anymore once you're having sex with this person. And I think that when we talk about pickers, like once you start engaging in sex with somebody, your ability to like rationally like judge them as a partner just completely goes out the window. Like it simply just goes out the window. But even with this, like we got on this topic of like body count and number of sexual partners, not spiritual partners, and things like that. And it was interesting because I feel like the normal numbers are also like much higher than they used to be as well. I just think that like this is like one of those sneaky things that I don't know. I feel like I just don't hear it talked about as much as it used to be, but it's just really, really interesting. I think it starts with people being honest about their experiences. It's a testimony that can help other people. We're not open enough. Leah, this is so true. I feel like this has been so like kind of taboo and like it's not talked about enough before and it's not talked about enough after marriage. I feel like it's just not talked about enough in general. And if it is talked about, it's like in a nasty, weird way. I don't know how to explain it, but it's like, you might go to marriage conferences and different things like that. And like you hear things and like you experience things, which is like good stuff. But like there's also like so much reality that I feel like is not addressed on both sides. And I feel like that's really, really important. I think that, I think godly insight on sex before marriage and what that process looks like, because me and Daniel have talked about this, but because we're taught that we should be abstinent, like you almost have it drilled in your mindset that like sex is wrong, that sex is bad. And if you do slip up and end up having sex before marriage and you figure out that it feels so good and this and this, then you're like, okay, but it's bad, right? No, like sex in and of itself is not a bad, it's a good thing, but it has to be in the context of marriage in order for it to be safe for you. That's all God is saying, but he created it. Of course it's good. But back then it's like, it's bad, it's bad, it's bad, it's bad. Don't do it. Never do it, like until you're married. But then you get married and this thing that was now so wrong is now all of a sudden so right. But like, it doesn't feel right yet. Like that was one thing for us, is just like you almost still would feel guilty after the fact because you were taught that it was like such a bad thing that you shouldn't be doing, that you shouldn't, you know what I mean? I think that that's like really interesting. We waited and I'm so happy we did, but when it was time, I felt like we were doing something wrong. Yes, it was a struggle at first for me. I've heard a lot of people say this, and I think that this is one of the conversations as well. It's like, it shouldn't be so far to one side. Like sex needs to be taught in its proper context, period. Not it's bad or not that it's all good and it's natural, whatever. Like it has a certain context that is for protection that will have you covered. Yeah, I think that it's interesting. I think that for people who are not married yet, like understand that yes, it's something God created, that it's amazing, it's beautiful, it's a good thing, but it's not something that belongs to you right now. Like you don't have the keys to drive that car. Like you don't have permission, you don't have covering for that. And not to think of it as something fully negative, but sometimes it's because we put ourselves in situations to where we have to turn it down, and to where it becomes this hard thing. And I think that that's another thing. And I grew up in Christian private education, and so my principal used to like talk to us about these things, and that he would say, don't put yourself in a situation to where now you have to make a decision. And number one, the decision should be made before you get into that situation. But secondly, don't be in that situation, meaning don't find yourself alone with this person if that's not something that you can handle. Like, go in groups and drive separately and things like that. Because when we put ourselves in the situation to fall, then 9 times out of 10, you might fall, or it's going to be really hard. And then you have to put yourself in the context of like, that's a bad thing. I don't want to do it. So, but yeah, I'm hoping that I can get Daniel up here to continue the conversation. I don't know like at what point he is in his travels, but I don't know if any of you guys, y'all are a little quiet tonight. Obviously, this was not the topic that y'all wanted to hear tonight, but it's so important. Like, it's so important. And if you are a Christian who has friends who are, I'm not saying condemn them, but pray about how you can challenge them to kind of like pivot towards God's word, how you can gently remind them. It shouldn't be casual conversation about these types of things. Yeah, we need some men's perspective, because it's the ladies in the chat. I know Daniel's not in here yet, but the way that y'all just leave me hanging. Like, I think a guy's perspective, I think Nick kind of shared a little bit earlier, but I think having a guy's perspective is also important, because listen, this is what I learned in school. In school, I learned that sometimes as females, I don't think that people are this naive anymore. Clearly they're not, because of the state of things. But back then it would almost be like, oh yeah, like I don't have to worry about sex before marriage. Like I want a good Christian guy. Like, and my principal was like, yeah, good Christian guys want good Christian sex. Like, men, like that is a very like driving factor for men on a day-to-day basis. And so for a lot of like relationships, it's the women who are holding that standard of abstinence, and the man who's like being dragged along in that process, from my understanding. Let's see. All right. We have, I think it depends on your community. When holiness is not a priority, you are more likely to test drive. Very, very, very true. And I think that like, ask yourself, like, are you in a community that is challenging you to live holy and to live righteous before God? Because if you're in an environment where everyone's saying like, yeah, I'm a believer, yeah, but like everyone is compromising, then you have a problem, because now no one's being held to any type of standard, and you guys are basically just enabling each other to compromise. So that's not good. There is no fear of the consequences until you least expect it, because they are coming. So you better have a fortified relationship with the Lord when they come. I think that getting back to relationship is so important. I was talking to my daughter about this tonight, obviously not on this topic. She's 9, but we were just talking about, you know how Paul says, like, what I want to do, I don't do. And even though I try to do the right thing, I always end up not doing the right thing. And like, how do I end up doing the right thing? And we basically like, we boiled it all down to relationship. And when you have a relationship with God, the closer you get to them, the more that you learn how he wants you to live, and the love that's attached to the reason he wants you to live that way, the more that you desire to live in a way that pleases him. It doesn't mean that you're going to be perfect, but your relationship and that love is what's driving you to live his way. So a lot of times we focus so much on what the rules are. Don't do this, don't do that, don't do this, don't do that, and don't think about why we have these guidelines. Why is God telling us to live this way, and not I can do this and I can't do that, and I can do this and I can't do that. The teaching has been black and white with a lot of coverage, without a lot of coverage in the gray area. It's the gray area that needs to be addressed to help others. I think that this is also important, because the gray area is what leads to the black from the white, right? The gray area is like the foreplay and the all the like. Oh, Daniel has entered the studio. I'm sorry, I just got excited. Daniel entered the studio. Okay, but yeah, that's really really important because I think that that middle area um is where a lot. It's Daniel. Hold on, you want me to bring you to the stage? Hold on, let me bring you to the stage. Let me unmute you. Wait, okay. Say something.
Hello, everybody.
It's Daniel.
Oh
Y'all
my
give it up for
god.
Daniel. My
You
guy.
gonna have to read the comments because I can't see them.
Okay.
But I don't. We just got done doing what we're doing. We're headed back down the road from DC.
Look at him still
So,
in his church outfit.
hey man. No,
Okay.
I turned it from a church outfit. It's just like you can wear a suit and not be church.
No, I know, but you were to church. So,
Okay.
okay.
Um. So what we y'all talking about?
Everyone's
Well,
saying
first
what's up.
I
Everyone's
got
saying
something
the
to
angle,
ask.
the angle.
What, the angle's bad? Hold on. I'm
Just
trying to get myself
don't have
together.
it down like that. You look like an old person. Just like,
Hold
can
on.
you?
I'm trying to. It says allow StreamYard to found networks. Okay. All right. Um. Hold on, I got effects. Oh, I can. Okay. I'm a beast. I can turn on
I don't
like
know if
a.
I can make you
All
bigger.
right.
Like,
Is that good?
oh, you just took over. Okay, hold on. Yeah.
No, I don't want to take over.
Sorry.
Is
Oh
that
no,
good?
what did I do?
I'm still up, I think.
Yeah, but I think I.
Hold up. I don't like this brick.
Okay, there we go. That's better.
Um. I first want to ask the chat: are men allowed to wear turtlenecks? I found out this week that, well, last week that like wearing a turtleneck is the equivalent of carrying a merce.
What?
Yeah.
First of all, I'm getting a little dizzy because I don't even know what we're talking about anymore right now. We will come back to the conversation, but somebody's saying yes. Oh, yes, 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 you can wear them, right? Yes, you can wear a turtleneck. Don't listen to people. This is why you can't listen to everything on the internet. Like,
Nah, but when you but when you think about it, it starts to sound a little suspect. It's like, yo, do you wear turtlenecks? And then saying yes just kind of feels, So I'm kind of like, I'm wearing one now, but I,
no, that no, that's somebody's insecurity speaking. I don't think there's anything wrong with wearing a turtleneck, and whoever told you that made it up.
all right, are you allowed to wear turtlenecks with no jacket, like just a turtleneck by itself?
Like Steve Jobs?
That's kind of suspect.
This is crazy. People have a problem with everything. No, sir. Everything is fine. It depends on your confidence and swag, somebody said. Nick said turtlenecks are timeless. The fashion icon has spoken, so leave
Okay.
it alone.
I don't know what the ladies think though, because I mean, if y'all
All the
think
ladies are
if
saying
ladies
yes.
if they think turtlenecks are feminine, then I need
No
to.
one's saying that though.
Okay.
Although all the females are saying yes,
Okay.
you're good.
I'm not sure how far you got into the conversation, but um, I saw someone say that test driving is overrated, and I gotta disagree.
See, I told
I
y'all he
gotta
was gonna play
disagree.
devil's advocate.
No,
I
no, no,
told y'all he was
because
gonna do this. Go
it's
ahead.
not saying that test driving is right, but and I'm you gotta hear what I'm saying. Like, I don't want anyone to feel like they enjoyed their sin, but uh, you know, uh, I wouldn't say. I mean, it's overrated spiritually, maybe, but a lot of people who have test drove have felt really good about it in the moment.
In the
So
moment,
I think the problem
okay.
is, I think the problem is that sometimes we downplay, I guess, the power or the uh, the goodness or the ecstasy of lovemaking. I think that we we try to downplay it and act like it's nothing, but it's a really powerful thing. You know what I mean? And of course, that's why God created it for, you know, for marriage. That was His design, is to, for it to be marriage, because it's such a powerful thing. But I think that I just have I kind of gotta say that that's the reason why so many people do it, because physically it- it's not overrated. Like, people really enjoy everything. Now, when you look at, the big picture, um, I think that I think that our generation,
Yeah,
actually,
it's
I've,
great until it's not. Exactly.
I see that, a lot of people, or stats are saying actually that Gen Z is having less sex than millennials were when we were in, people are waiting much later, by statistically speaking. Um,
I
I
think
think
they're
that has a
waiting
lot to
later,
do
but I
with,
think that they're going like while they're when they're older.
yeah, that could be true. I think our generation was like, when we were teens. I know that was the thing. Like, I know for me, I wasn't a virgin when we got married, but uh, I also was a one timer before we got married. So I wasn't out here like, after I did what I did and just going crazy. But I think that people are waiting later. When I was coming up in high school, that was what everybody was doing as 15, 16-year-olds. You know what I mean? Like, that was kind of the thing. I think now, people are maybe waiting until their late teens, 20s. But I also think that that's why things are just so cooked. And then people, especially guys, I was having this conversation earlier, feel like when you get married, it fixes it. So then you got people that have,
Hmm.
addictions to, you know, they have serious lust issues, not only digitally but also physically with real life people, and then they feel like getting married is going to fix those issues or make
That's a
those
really
issues
good
go
point.
away. And so you have a lot more problems because of it. It's almost like we were talking about something the other day, and it's like I forgot who I was talking to and what it was about, but it's almost like you're dealing with such a powerful tool, a powerful weapon, and uh, that tool used correctly, like a sharp knife, um, like sex within a marriage can heal things. You know what I mean? Yes, there's disagreements, there's different stuff, but like sex, God created it to heal. Like, there's scripture that backs up what I'm saying, and it brings two souls together, and it's powerful. But when you start doing that, especially, I never will understand, just the casual thing, like just meeting somebody. I don't know how horny you got to be to just meet somebody, know nothing about them and have sex with them. I think that's crazy, Christian or not Christian. But but
No,
anyways,
I agree with
I
that.
just think sex is such a nasty thing to just. I don't know nothing about you. I don't know what it's too much unknown to just be. Anyways, I'm going off on a tangent, but no, I feel like as
Uh-oh.
Christians, we can't, especially like men, got to be real. When we downplay the enjoyment of it, it makes it seem like for people who are struggling in that area, like, dang, like they must have some type of spiritual
How
uh
do you feel like it's
something
downplayed?
that I
Like
don't.
you feel like it's downplayed in what way?
Um, like you'll hear married people be like, well, sex ain't all of that. Like, I've heard people say that's been married, then they'll say, like, because coming up and abstaining, or being a virgin, or being abstinent or celibate or whatever, and then you have people who are married and they're just like, it ain't all that, and they're not necessarily saying it ain't all that, like the act of, but they're trying to let you know that once you have the license to do it, it's not everything. But as a 16-year-old, 17-year-old boy, and
Lies.
you just get the,
Wait,
you
I
know what
gotta
I'm
read you
saying?
some comments in a second.
You just, like, as a teenager, and that's all you can think about. seemingly, you know what I mean? Just because your body is kind of going through those changes and you're at the height of it, you just feel like something's wrong with you. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
you
Well, I
feel
think
like,
that one of the important things too is for older people to be able to go back and to remember their lived experience, because
but
like
we all have different experiences. Like
we
some
all do,
people,
but at the same time, like as a young man being 16, 17 years old and then being like 67, like
well, I
I'm
there's
not saying who can have what and experience what, but what I'm saying is that a lot
yeah,
of time adults like speak only from like their like
but
specific experience and not remembering like what it was like when they were where you are, you know?
right, but also you you may be older speaking on your experience, but you weren't him when you were my age.
Mhm.
And
Right.
I'm not talking about me, but I'm just saying like if I'm
Yeah.
representing a younger man that's really him, where
Like
you
that
are
guy.
desired and got it
Mhm.
going on for yourself, you weren't him. So like you're not really
You
dealing
can't
with
even
what
really
I was
relate
dealing
for
with.
real is what you're saying.
Right. And I'm just like, so, and I'm not saying that that makes what that person is saying um, wrong, but I do think it's important to acknowledge that is a huge struggle. And for a lot of guys, I know like for me, I'm just like, man, if I can get this lust thing under control, I would be okay because at that point, your relationship with God is you're thinking about it in terms of me sinning and me doing
Mhm.
right and me doing wrong. Now, once you really
Mhm.
start to understand Jesus and fall in love with Him, you understand that falling in love with Him uh, and Him working on you allows you to get into a position in where you love Him so much to where you don't sin. Going to the
Yeah. And
scripture,
I'm not
if
even
you love
talking
me,
about
you'll
like
keep my
slipping up. I'm
commandments.
talking about the lifestyle of like casual and open conversation. Like I think that that's what's like, you know what I'm saying? Because I understand like temptation and slipping up, but like to just be whatevering
Well,
it.
I mean, some people just give up. Be like, well, I mean, hey, this is what it is. But I think that you have to look at the scripture that I just mentioned.
Mhm.
I forgot the context of what was happening, but I think it holds true for everything. Jesus said, "If you love me, you'll keep my commands."
Yeah.
And so I think it's a love issue in that people can identify as Christian or they may go to church and say these different things, but when you truly love Jesus, it's not saying that you'll never make any mistakes, but that lifestyle is not going to be present.
Mhm.
And if it is, it's a love issue. You have to look
Yeah.
at how much you really love God,
Yeah.
and once you fix that, you'll be at a place to where it can't be a casual thing. It's not saying that you'll never, slip up or make mistakes. Because when you do make mistakes and you love God, you'll be heavily convicted, not condemned,
Mhm.
but convicted. Because and that conviction comes from the fact that you love God. So you feel like, man, like I disappointed God, and I know God wouldn't want this, and but I don't know, man. I think that
Let me read
I,
some comments.
yeah, yeah. Go ahead.
Okay. So, um, someone said it's great. It's well, first of all, to the turtleneck, someone said depends on your body type with the crying laughing faces. But to the main topic,
What if it's
somebody
shaped like a
said it's
pear?
great until it's not, crying laughing face. Somebody was basically like ditto to that. Somebody said test driving better come with some other tests.
Yeah,
um, Most women end up in tears, but the guys be okay. That's true. In the big scheme of things, love making has to be put in its place. And then lies, but that was to something else that you said. Other tests is hilarious. Someone said he's right. We got to help people navigate their emotions and feelings. Like, what's the alternative? And I think that that's like actually
hold up.
like
What's
a
the
good.
alternative?
I know, but like
What's like? Hold on. Like, what's the alternative to fornication?
fornicating,
What?
not fornicating.
Hold on. What's? Hold up. Is that the question? What's the alternative to fornication?
No, it just says what's the alternative.
So what?
What do you? I think the question. They're laughing. They're cracking up right now. I think the other question is, I think the maybe better way to put it is like, what do you do in the scenario? Like, are we eating a raw potato? Are we doing a cold plunge? Like, because this is stuff that I've heard. You know what I'm saying? A cold shower, whatever. Like, I'm cracking up. I don't know if there's an alternative. There might be a diversion, but I
I
don't know.
mean, don't tell anybody you heard this from me, but I mean, I don't
You're
know.
on a live stream.
Okay, all right, never mind. I feel like we're gonna FaceTime right now,
Exactly. Like, don't say
so
anything
I give you some
crazy.
alternatives, but no,
No,
I'm
no,
messing.
don't
Okay,
give them any alternatives,
all
babe.
right.
Just keep that to yourself. But
I
somebody
think
said Christians living a lifestyle of giving up is wild. And I think that the fact that that has become a status quo is beyond me.
well, everybody who claims to be something isn't that thing, and I think that if you're a follower of Christ, then it's not a lifestyle. So it comes down to people like you can claim to be that, but you're not really that.
But you're
So,
not, but you're just not. Yeah.
uh,
And I think
and it's okay. I mean, it's not okay, but
yeah.
it's okay.
Somebody said give them tools to help them with the urges. I think that I think that even though this sounds like spiritual because we've already said it, I do think that like obviously physically you're still going to feel what you're going to feel. Okay? Like
Yeah.
you can't unfeel what you feel, but for me, even when Daniel and I were dating, I was like actually very much serious about my relationship with God to where I was not going to put that in jeopardy. I
Yeah.
refused to, like, to a very stubborn point. Like,
Hmm.
we might have been doing some other stuff, but we wasn't finna have sex. That's what we wasn't finna do. And I think that like,
Yeah, we do a little making out here and there.
yeah, but like, and not that I'm not saying that that's okay because for some people that's a gateway. Like, and I think that's the thing that people have to understand is like their own selves in the context of whatever situation it is. So if you
Yeah.
have somebody who was an alcoholic, like you don't need to be drinking a glass of wine. Like Bishop may say, "Oh yeah, you can enjoy that with your spouse or whatever, whatever," but like you cannot do that. You know what I'm saying? So you have to know yourself in the bounds of like whatever you can. Jeremiah said, "Flee," and Joy said, "Child, flee temptation." Yeah, you
Yeah,
could
the
tell they grew up in
Bible,
the same
the
household.
Bible. I think the Bible talks about. I don't have it in front of me now, but I think specifically with sexual temptation, you got
Mhm.
to do what Joseph did. Like if you find yourself actually in that moment, you have to leave.
No, you have to literally flee. You have to
You
run
have to
for the
leave.
hills,
So if it's
bullseye.
y'all two and y'all, you have to remove yourself from the situation quickly.
Hmm.
That's the only like. So you think if you have an issue with that, and both y'all have an issue with that, y'all are young, y'all libido is up, all that stuff, and you think you gonna just sit there and like, I
And
mean, maybe
stare at
you
each other.
can, but if you already know what's what, you might, all right, I gotta go, I'm going home, or I
Yeah.
gotta leave, or
Okay, wait. Okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
and then the other thing is that you got to remember, like back in those times, people got married a lot younger. So when
Hmm.
people were coming into puberty and having those urges, they were not waiting another 10, 15 years before they got married. My personal opinion, is that the modern age in which people are getting married, you have to wait out your sexual prime. Like people are skipping their sexual prime and then get married, and that's why many people are not making it till then because you're in the
Yeah,
heat
you're in the
of
thick of it. You're in the
you're in
thick
the
of
thick
it.
of it,
When you're in
and then
college, in high
yes,
school, yeah.
right.
It's because
So
culture is definitely completely different.
right,
Um, Somebody's saying, yeah, your parents will be like, one thing leads to another, which is totally true, but no one's trying to hear that at that age, but that is totally true. Somebody said, run, get out of there. My principal, he used to give us like so many tips. Like, I guess he really cared. But
that's
anyways,
weird.
he would tell us
That's
like,
weird.
hold he would say you could hold like a pebble or like a rock in your hand. And he's like, if you have to let go of that rock, you're doing too much. He's like, you need to run, which I think is kind of crazy. I never personally did that one. But he would say something like that. Of course, we talked earlier about like not being alone in the same car, not being alone over each other's houses, like going out in groups, driving separately. Like there's things,
I mean, we was
boundaries you can
alone.
put in
We was
place
alone
ahead
in
of
the
time.
car.
Huh?
We was alone in the car. I mean,
And
there's
what was
certain.
we doing in the car?
How do you want me to
Anyway,
answer? Like, how do you want me to answer that?
I'm
I
just
mean,
saying, like, one thing can lead to another. So you
it
have to just
can,
like,
it can, but let's be realistic. Because some people go so put so many rules in place,
mm-hmm.
and then now it's like we can't hold hands, we can't kiss, we can't be in the car alone, we can't. And I'm like, it's
No, but
different
what
for
I'm
every
saying is that you
scenario.
have to know what you need to do. But once somebody said something, which I think is really important, because we talked about like how usually like it's the female who's like wants to be celibate and the man is kind of like whatever. But they were basically saying like when both partners are serious about waiting, it can make it easier. And because
Yes,
you both hold
yes,
each other accountable. And I think that like when it's all up to the female and if she has a weak moment and that guy does not really care, babe, you're cooked. You're done for. Like,
yeah,
you know, I think that
yeah.
that's
Yes.
really
But you,
important.
but I
Somebody
think that
said,
ultimately, I think that you, you just got to be serious about, like, there's a lot when it comes to sin where like you have to make up your. I've read or heard something, and it might have been something that my dad said, but it's like you need to predetermine to do the right thing.
that was
And
me. I'm not trying
when
to be
did you say
funny.
that?
I said it to the youth before, but I said it on this show. Like
What did you say?
you shouldn't make the decision to not do something. You shouldn't wait till that moment that it happens to make that decision. Like you need to
Yeah,
make the decision of
and
what
then
you're going to not
and
do
it, and
before
so
you get
with
into
that,
it.
yeah, there's going to be a lot of things that you do differently to not even put yourself in position for that to be the case. But I also think that, like, I think realistically is just like, man, um,
Wait, we got some good comments. Go ahead.
I don't know. I don't want to tell people to get married prematurely because, like I said, you can end up married and miserable because you jumped in and did the wrong thing. But I know Paul talks about it's better to marry than to burn.
Well, I think, but I
And
think when you're
I think
truly
that some
seeking
people
God,
draw.
but
I
when
think
you're
some
truly
people draw it
following the
out
Holy
when they
Spirit,
don't need to.
like you should be led in by the Holy Spirit and who you marry. So it really shouldn't be only based off of that you're burning, because that will put you in the situation to you will end up with the wrong person. Like
You can
doing
end
it
up
that
with the
way.
wrong person.
Huh?
You can end up
You
with the wrong
can. Yeah,
person.
you can. You can.
I don't want to say you
Um,
will, but
let me read something. Amen. Hold on. Somebody said, make it awkward on purpose to ruin the mood. Someone said, gotta go.
nah, don't.
Um, somebody said, first you have to be real with yourself and know that it doesn't just happen. Don't put yourself in a situation if you know that you are what the old people say, hot in the pants, lol, which
Be,
is true.
being hot in the pants is not a bad. It's a great thing.
No, but they're saying don't put yourself in this situation if you know you're hot in the pants. So wait, I have a follow up comment to that in a second. Let me finish getting through these. Somebody,
Okay.
Jeremiah said, "A." I have to say it was him because otherwise the comment. A. Me and my wife got married a few months ago. I mean, a few months after we started dating. I ain't have to flee for long. He said, and Leah basically said that part. Jeremiah said, "Praying was that supposed to be a solution?" I'm not mocking it. And then somebody
Yeah, I
said praying,
mean,
lol.
yeah, you can
Okay.
pray, but I mean, okay.
Shay said we were the opposite. JR was serious and I was willing to risk it all. Just being honest. Thank God for JR. Yeah, thank God.
Oh, man,
Alyssa
that's it.
said, be blunt. Just be like, yeah, this is a hot week for me. I can't see you till next week. I
Yeah,
didn't
like,
do that, but I'm sure it would work.
yeah, it's like if you know you know what I mean. You know, because I learned a lot. After we got married about the 28-day
The cycles, yeah,
cycle,
the
and
cycles,
so
yeah.
yeah, so it's like, all right, but as a married man, I know, yeah,
Bro,
I
to
mean,
this day, Daniel would be like, you're ovulating.
yeah, like I could, and it's like that's the day I may bring home some Starbucks or like or try to do like I just Now,
I feel like you track it better than me at this point, even though I do track it.
hey, shout out to Flo,
No, that's what y'all was doing in the car. Please.
but
When you purposely don't want to disappoint your father, you will navigate much more strategically to not falling into those hot situations. That's true.
yes,
I'm cracking up. Thank God we were both serious about waiting until we were married. Every time someone was close to temptation, one of us felt convicted and ruined the vibe. Exactly. That's when you know you got one. When y'all just cooking
but
each other, but
I
for
think
good
I
reason.
think more people though. I'm just like we. I don't know.
Conviction does ruin the vibe.
I don't know. Yeah, it's
No one wants to do something and they just feel bad the whole time.
But I did want to talk about something because I know, like I said, for me, when you and I came up in an era where not necessarily like anyone specific, but I know um, a lot of what was being taught was about flinging sexual lust and those
Hmm.
type of things, and so I remember that because there's a healthy way to understand and really recognize that God created sex, like, and He knew what He was doing. Like He gave
Oh,
us
he knew
all the
exactly what he
nerves.
was doing.
Yeah, He knew it. So and I think it's a created, but it's so powerful that He put it within. It's almost like just the guidelines. It's like, all right, eat the Garden of Eden. Like this is yours, but just don't eat from this tree.
Yeah,
So where it's
exactly.
like, it's set aside for a purpose. But I think that if I heard more of people being like, it's a great thing, but just talking about the context of marriage, I think that it would have made our first 6 months of being married feel less awkward.
We
Because
talked
I don't
about
want to
this
say,
a little bit
and
earlier before you got
I
on.
don't know, and I don't know if awkward is the word, but
It felt you felt bad still.
I hated the fact that I'm 3 months into our marriage and
It's it's
we're
yeah,
being intimate and I feel like I'm doing something wrong.
wrong.
And that's
Yeah.
how I knew that somewhere along the line there's
Something
some
went
wrong
wrong.
teaching or some wrong,
Mhm.
because now it's like okay, I have the license but I still feel guilty for having this urge or feeling like this or that. And I mean, you get over it after a while, but I think proper teaching about it, and that's why I just encourage people, especially when you're talking to young men. It's like, bro, be real about what it's really like out here. And if you know that you weren't really, because it's easy for someone to say, "Oh yeah, I abstained," but you would have had a hard time getting some anyway.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Like, is that some people have that type of energy? Oh yeah, I abstained and but it's like, bro, you won't.
Brittany.
You know,
Daniel, please.
I'm just
Sorry.
saying. I'm like that's, if we're more real with young men about no, like I get it, and it's
Yeah.
real, and you being able to abstain means so much more about your relationship and how much you love God, because something that powerful that you know that you can engage in, you're choosing to abstain from it. That's love. You know
Yeah.
what I mean, towards God. It sounds like you got some comment.
No, Brittany said, yes, God, it is an amazing thing. Matter of fact, I will be back. It's my anniversary.
Good Lord. Oh my God.
Girl, is it really? You better go enjoy.
You were dismissed. Don't be watching us.
Yeah,
Turn us
you are
off.
excused. You have an
Yeah.
excuse, tardy. Get out of here.
Yeah.
Um, yeah,
Detention.
somebody else. A lot of people have been saying in the chat, like over the course of the night, that it's just not talked about enough, and it's not talked about in the right context. And I think that that's is an important thing as well. Um,
Well, I think because too, once you get married, it like I know for me, like and for us, it's not something I really think about. I'm like, but if you're not married yet, that's like it's a big thing. So I think it's important for those who are um, not married yet and trying to walk the right way to bring that up and to ask questions and to um, and to bring up the conversation, because I can tell you by being married 11 years, I'm not thinking about abstaining before marriage and that type of stuff. I'm like, I'm good. Like, I've had the license for a while, and I don't have that, and that's no longer a. Now, that's not saying I don't have other things that pull at me in terms of lust, temptations to do other stuff. But it's saying that within the context of our marriage, is like, I mean, it's a great place to be, honestly. Like,
Mm-hmm.
being married to the right person and being able to engage in something that God created between husband and wife is a great place to be, because life, and I understand what people were saying, because what they were trying to say is that when that's all you're trying to battle in your head, life can be all about sex. But once you have the license, and the guilt is gone and the shame is gone, life is so much more
Yeah.
than just that.
Yeah.
And so that's the proper way. It's like, no, but that's still between,
It's still like that
husband and
though.
wife. It's still
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's facts. That's facts. Okay, Daniel, you weren't here for this kind of part of the conversation, but I was just talking about like as believers who don't ever want to like condemn people or be judgmental towards people, like if you have a group of friends that are Christian friends, like but you know that your friends are like casually having sex or not living according to God's word, like how do you how do you bring it up in a way or to try to help them along, or like if somebody was talking about being in communities that actually like have conviction attached to them, like obviously we know in our church like holiness and righteousness, like that's already a standard, you know what I mean, that's set, and maybe not everyone's not in that, but like I mean I don't know, I can't imagine myself just having a casual conversation about someone's sex life who's not married, but like what do you think
Yeah, I
about that?
mean, if they're not bringing it up, it can be tough. But I mean, I guess when y'all are all together, you can just be like, "So, guys, who all is having sex before marriage?"
Wait,
So hopefully that shows how awkward
this is the
me saying
solution?
that. No, I'm being facetious, but I just think that it's something that it depends on what type of friends you have. If friends are opening up that part of their life to you, and the fact that you know that that's what's going on, it allows you to be able to engage in conversation. But if it's none of your business, it can be none of your business unless something is there to open up the conversation.
But
But
so the basically the start of the conversation was that someone that I talked to shared
mhm.
that their friend who was not married was having a like a issue in their sex life, and they were asking the rest of the friend group for advice.
Yeah, I mean, when that happens, I think that you should be in position. We talked about this, I think, the first week on Extra Credit, is that you got to be in position to tell the truth, and
Hmm.
and the and correcting of like, this is wrong, because that scripture, that I forgot where it was, or what exactly it said, but it was basically saying, like, if someone among you, like your brother or sister, is sinning, you need to address them and deal with it. And then if they do not correct it, you need to separate yourselves from them. And it talked about how people like that become a bad witness for Christ,
Yeah.
because they're actively living in sin. They know it, and they don't take heed to conviction
Hmm.
or correction, and they continue living that. That's not a follower of Christ.
Yeah.
That's, so I think that we have to be comfortable with, like my whole thing, and I've realized how, and I'll say it this way, you have, it's not all about sin. Sometimes it's about something that somebody said or something that somebody did. Everybody wants to ignore the elephant in the room, but you have to be comfortable with being the type of person that's going to call out what it is that you see and what's going on. And people sometimes get really upset with that. And sometimes I've seen people appreciate that, of like, hey, no, like, um, you said this or you did this. What's up with that? And
Hmm.
so, it's like, if people want to do what they do, I think any of us, whatever we're doing, like, stand on business. Like, don't, like, if we address it, or you say something about it, I just think that whatever it is, it's just like, it's not awkward for me, because I'm gonna say something. I'm not
Right.
gonna let stuff slide. And it's not about being petty, but it's just about not being afraid to approach the truth. And like I said, some people who are not open to receiving correction are going to be upset, and people who hear your heart and hear where it's coming from are able
Mm-hmm.
to receive that and move forward, no matter with what it is. So whether that's them dealing with sexual sin, or them gossiping, or them, doing whatever else, if you're able to, if you're comfortable with just letting that type of stuff slide around you, and you don't say any, and not that you have to always be the annoying person that's always like saying
The
something, but
Bible
God will give you
says.
the way in which to address it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I think that we have to be comfortable with addressing stuff,
Yeah.
and telling the truth, no matter what it is. But
Let me read a few more comments. Um, so someone else was saying, Leah said that we were very helpful during her journey. Um, she said, I wasn't listening. Seek wise counsel. Leah, you're cracking me up. Alyssa said also intimacy issues. Huh? She
I ain't
said
saying,
also intimacy issues should be talked about too, because it really should be a fun thing for married couples, like how to engage, setting the mood, how to bounce back from misunderstandings, etc. I actually think
yeah,
that that's like really huge too after marriage, because it's kind of like you get married and they're like, okay, you can do it. Bye. You just get abandoned into this whole world of something that you literally know nothing about. It actually is kind of crazy. So I do agree with that.
yeah,
That a lot
yeah,
of that stuff does need to be talked about
that's
in
true.
the right settings. And other people are agreeing with her. Leah definitely said that, like, as far as the friends thing, if it comes up, you should speak up. Don't be afraid to be that friend. Then Christian Brown said, can we talk about when you're engaged and you both have agreed to wait and you're a few months away? Like, do you remember what it was like to be engaged and to be like so close, but like, don't do it
Yeah.
though?
Well, I mean, for me, it's like, I mean, you got the countdown. You know what I mean? That's the beautiful thing about being engaged, is that,
It's
hey,
like,
like, yeah, like, all right, it's
yeah.
coming. Now, for me though, being engaged was different, because I feel like for me, I don't know if I was so much thinking about that, but I
Hmm.
know that, I don't know. I think I know that for me, I think we were engaged for what, 5, 6 months.
5.
Um, I think, like, I had moved out. I had moved. I lived on my own for, I think, 2 months before we got married,
I think like
and I
3.
think, yeah, like three maybe. And I think that experience for me kind of superseded me just like, oh, I can't wait to have sex or whatnot.
Okay.
But I think, I mean, get a
But did
little
that
count.
make you realize how living on your own, like how easy it would be to just be fornicating all the time?
Yeah, cause I mean, I recommend staying with your I mean, you can't be but so old, but I think that staying with your parents, if you're able to, because
Hmm.
I think that because I'm not bringing nobody back to my parents' house, but if I have my own spot, then you got to realize too, depending on how well you're doing, people coming to your place. And you're gonna have, if you're a single guy, you're gonna have it smelling good. You're gonna have
I hope so.
you're gonna have stuff really like laid out, and it just makes it easier. Like, I know, even for me, I had a lot of just friends and just people over the house during the span of those 2 months. And I even had friends that were females, and I kind of saw like, oh, like having your own spot is kind of like that. People,
Hmm.
can I look around? Can I kind of
Uh-oh, do we
like
lose
bring you
you?
back, have a whole spot? Uh,
You're there. We got you back.
okay. Yeah, I think it's tough. So I do think that living, I don't know, either having roommates or living at home can be a solution or a strategy, to if that helps you with accountability.
Yeah.
You know what I
No,
mean?
that's
Because
true. That's true. It's just like the least opportunities you have to put yourself in the position to have to flee, the better.
right, yeah. But I think it's like, your time is coming. Get a little countdown clock going. And I don't know, like I don't want to give the wrong advice, but I would say like if if you are someone who has always abstained, like do some research so you can kind of know what you're doing.
I feel
And
like
I'm
the
not,
best
and I'm
research you
not,
can do is talking to like married people of the same gender.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And I'm not
I
talking
wouldn't
about
get too
like,
far into like internet research or
yeah,
like
I'm not talking about positions and
conversation,
all of that. Like you
but
can
yeah.
get through all of that. I don't, but I think like just um basic things like hygiene and
And like
go
anything that you
go
might
use the
need, maybe some
bathroom.
supplies,
Go use the
maybe.
bathroom after you're finished so
Oh
that
my
you don't get
gosh. Yeah.
a
Listen to
STI.
me. Listen to me right now.
Don't just pass out and go to sleep. Like you
To all
gotta,
of the to all of the virgins in the chat, when you get married, please go to the bathroom after you're intimate with your husband. Just every time. Every
yeah, you might
time.
be sleepy and just roll over, but
Get up.
but
Just get
people,
up.
but if you've been so sheltered, like you don't know these things,
Yeah.
you can have. So I do believe that. I mean, there are, I guess, Christian. I mean, it's not my lane, but there are Christian people who I guess deal with sex and just the intimacy side and talking about that side. But I do think that if you did it God's way and you get married, you should be having better sex than anybody else
That's on
who's not doing
period.
it right. I know I felt that way because, I know when we got married, you hear about people doing this and people doing that. And it's like, yo, like, we are in covenant. Like, we are under God's blessing to do this. Ain't no way somebody single and just out here about to have a better time than we having.
No, y'all not finna show us up.
You know what I mean? And it's not trying to like out sex people. That's not what I'm saying. But I'm saying because it's godly and good what we have,
It
we
should be
shouldn't
better.
we shouldn't shy away from it, and we should not just kind of you know what I'm saying? Just kind of not figure things out. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I mean? I don't know. I don't want to get too into it because I was in a class that I was actually recording and one thing that the lady said is that even when you do get married, y'all are not going to hear us talk about really any details about our sex life. You know what I
Right.
mean? You're not going to really hear too much about that because that's between us. You know what I mean? And I'm not even going to get all into how great it is and all that type of stuff. Like that's all between us, and I think that that's the level of sacred that it is.
Mm-hmm.
So you can find somebody else that can kind of maybe share different things, but yeah,
Well, period. I feel like that was a good conversation. I think that one of the biggest mandates that I really see, other than obviously what God is calling us to, which is abstinence, righteousness, holiness, but if you're surrounded with people who are not living that way, like it is biblical for you to speak up and say something. And I think that that kind of like answers the question, of the night that we kind of started off with. Um, but yeah, like just doing it God's way. Like God's way
yeah.
is the way.
And if you haven't or you aren't, repentance is so big. It's like
Huge.
repent, turn away from it, and don't allow shame to be a thing. But you actually got to be serious about God. I'm really gonna
Because
push to
restoration
do
is
this.
real.
You know what I
Restoration is
mean?
so real.
But I would say that if you are living that lifestyle and you decide not to deal with it, and then you end up ruining some young lady's life over your inability to have self control, um, that's not the time to be like, I don't want to live in shame and not take responsibility for hurting somebody else. I'm like,
That's facts.
I think that it's good to truly repent, truly turn away. But this stuff is not a snap of a finger. You know what I mean? For some of us, there's addictions and different things that go deep. And I mean, this is
Mhm.
a whole nother can of worms I'm not going to go into, but sometimes there's reasons and therapy that people need because there's a reason why you are so deep into whatever it is. There's people who have
Mhm.
been, molested, raped, or raped. I'm sorry, because YouTube probably,
I
I think
know.
they
You're
might
we're
hear.
already cooked now.
Yeah, we cook now. But there's people who have went through, like just unfair situations, and it's like because of that, there's things that have slipped in, and
Mm-hmm.
so I think that it's doing the work, getting the therapy, pushing through, staying close to God, repenting, turning away, and just really focus on your love walk with Christ. If you truly want to, go for it and do it. But um, there's so much I can say, even when it comes to guys and just not really being able to have self control. I think that I just, I'll just go back and just simply say that marriage does not fix that.
Yeah,
And I also think that if you're a Christian and you have a friend in your friend circle like that, you cannot support the tomfoolery. Like you can't, like you gotta tell people about themselves. You cannot just allow triflingness to run wild and you just okay with it. Like,
that's so true.
but anyways, I digress.
No, that's really good. That's really, really good because I feel like that's such a big thing. Um, because some people they know what's going on and they're just not willing to say anything. They're just letting it go by. But I think that what you said about marriage doesn't fix lust issues, and having babies doesn't fix your marriage. And I think that like those are like common threads that people think, and then they end up worsening the issue every single time.
Right.
So
But yeah, I think we'll hit more on it. Because I think that you know, I think there are some people who are really genuine about wanting the best for their marriage, wanting the best for their God given situation. And I think that ultimately I hear y'all, you know what I mean? I hear y'all even when it comes down to the practical things. Um, we can't, you can't be abstinent and then be a noob at being married because you know what I mean? Even though
yeah,
that is what it is, but I mean, um, but yeah, I know it's late, so I know you
I
probably
know we're about to shut it down.
shut down. Yeah.
I'll put it up. You close it out.
Any more comments?
Um, Somebody said we need to make a care package for new married couples. Yes, actually, that
No,
reminds me of when you
no,
first got married, and when you first
no.
got your
It's a
own
bad
place, and Joy
idea.
brought you like knives and like. Remember, she brought you like some like normal things you needed at your house. Because remember, I got there and I'm like, "Where'd you come? These come from?" And you were like, "Oh, Joy," because you didn't have anything at your house. So you'll be perfect at care
Joy
packages.
Clarkson?
What?
You talking about Joy Clarkson? I mean
Yeah,
Joy Clarkson at the time, but
yeah.
Joy
At
Cook.
the time.
She
But
brought me
yeah,
some
she was the one who said that we
knives.
need care packages for couples, but she was laughing.
Oh, shout out to her. Yeah,
You don't remember that?
yes, I do remember that. I
I
do
just
kind of. It was
remember
so
when you
long
told me that
ago,
I
but
was
yeah.
like, Joy is so thoughtful. Okay.
No,
Um,
all of them are very thoughtful.
the Clawtons, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good people, good people. Okay. I have a friend who came to me because her and her husband don't get that time because of their work schedule and they're always in passing and she asked for advice and what to do. Yeah, and I think that's
Quit
absolutely fine.
tomorrow.
Hmm.
Quit tomorrow.
Quick.
Quit.
I'm cracking up. Jeremiah said,
But we
"Oh,
could talk.
thanks."
We could talk about. I think that's a good question though. We can dig deeper into that because the current way that we live in America, where everyone is so busy, is part of the trick of the enemy, and that's why our finances have to be together. Like people hate when it comes back to that, but that's what it comes back to because everybody in the house is not really supposed to be working. Because now you got intimacy issues because everyone's trying to make enough money to
Everybody's
keep that.
tired. Your wife is tired because she's
That's
working.
that's
Sorry.
that's that's why, especially as believers, you need to be in God's will, especially as men for your life, and allow that flow to flow in your life, so that your wife does not have to work just as hard because both of y'all tired. Then you have kids, and then now both of y'all grumpy because y'all not being intimate, and there's a reason for that because back in the Bible days, it was different. People weren't both, doing stuff, but you got to make some major lifestyle changes sometimes to do that. But I think it's worth it.
Hmm. Joy said, "You make the time." My husband and I ran into this, and he made me quit one of my jobs.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Period.
Yeah, but no, we should dive more into that, soon. I had something else I was gonna say, but maybe I don't need to say it. Yeah, maybe I don't need to say it. Maybe that's why I
Yeah,
forgot.
that's scaring me.
But but no, I'm gonna log off, and I know it's late, but I know it's Christmas week. So Merry Christmas,
Merry
everyone.
Christmas, everybody.
And
I hope that you
we
guys
got one
have an
more show
amazing time.
before the new year. So,
One more before the new year.
but I'll see y'all later. I'm gonna sign out.
Don't leave yet. We're just
Hello,
gonna say bye to everybody
no. I'm gonna
together.
leave out, and then what you do when you close out, you gotta play some music, and you gotta, you
Okay, let me
know,
try.
tell people to drop some.
I
All
don't
right,
like
bye.
being you. I like being me. Oh my gosh. Okay, hold on. Music, music, music. Um Okay, we have music. Merry Christmas, guys. I hope that you guys have the most amazing time with friends and family on Thursday. I hope that you guys eat a lot of really good food, okay? We are tasked with making desserts, so I will be making a lemon cake. I will post it on my Instagram story for y'all to see if you guys want to see how my lemon. I've made it before, but it's been some years. So, anyways, Merry Christmas. I hope that you guys just have such a great one. Thank you, Joy. Thank you so much. Y'all really got me through tonight because I was like, I don't know how I'm going to even do any of this. He set most of it up. Listen, there's cords, there's lights, there's all kinds of mics, everything. Daniel did most of the work. So I'm very thankful for him this Christmas. But I'll talk to you guys later. Good night, good night, good night. And y'all, and thank you for those of you guys who were in the chat participating. Because I know this was a different topic, but I felt like it was important. So I love y'all, love y'all, love y'all, love y'all.